America's largest Asian shopping center in Markham, Ontario, where 61% of the city is of Asian ethnicity. Canada has been shaped by Chinese immigration ever since its doors opened wider in the 1960s. Cantonese was once synonymous with the idea of Chinese in Canada, whether it was the language or the food. But thanks to changing patterns of immigration and the outpouring of immigrants from China, the once dominant third language of Canada is starting to become one of many languages this nation has. However, this is just a tiny drop in the very large ocean in the number of declining languages around the world. There are over 7,000 languages spoken around the world, of which 2,000 have less than 1,000 speakers. As we speak, UNESCO has declared that 577 languages are critically endangered, on the verge of extinction, and one language dies about every 14 days. That is an entire people's culture wiped out.
Why the push? For several economic and political reasons. If you're a small community, you'll probably want to adapt to the more regional or global language, whether English, Spanish, Arabic, or Mandarin Chinese.
What is being done to help save endangered languages? As most of the world looks on, there are several attempts and organizations that try to encourage the use of local languages and maybe write down the proverbs, words, and sounds so that they won't be forever forgotten, such as UNESCO's database of endangered languages or the Endangered Language Project helped run by Google, as well as efforts from governments around the world. Here's an example of a National Geographic team trying to revitalize Australian Aboriginal languages.
Ardawuj.
What Ardawuj?
Could you say that again?
Ardawuj.
And the sun.
Move on, the sun.
Is it worth saving these languages, many would ask? Why stop the inevitable effects of globalization? After all, prominent languages like ancient Hebrew and Latin all died out. Why save small, regional, pointless languages that serve no purpose to learn? What benefit is there to society in promoting a language in rural communities with few speakers? Since language is really just a means of communication, thoughts, and desires, if there is a more efficient and convenient means of doing so, why use the older method? There's only one reason, and that is culture and history. In the early 17th century, the Huron-Wendat were the primary native tribe here in southern Ontario between Lake Simcoe and Georgian Bay. They traded with the French and first showed Samuel de Champlain the interior. They helped establish New France and the first colonies, which slowly helped shape the nation of Canada. Their language, Wyandot, has just one native speaker left here in Toronto, rendering the language extinct, and with it the entire Huron culture, a founding part of Canada, will no longer be of existence. The Ojibwe Anishinaabe peoples are the second strongest in number in Canada behind the Cree, with a rich history of its own, as well as helping establish Canada as a nation, as it was a staunch ally of the British in the War of 1812, helping to defend Upper Canada. With over 200,000 Anishinaabe in the United States and Canada, one would think that the local language is alive and strong, but that is not the case at all. In the 21st century, being bombarded by English everywhere, it is very difficult to hold on to their language, and now it is only the elders, usually, who know the language. Chinese is roughly divided into around 7 major groups, including Mandarin, Wu, Cantonese, and Hakka, but under each group are endless subdivisions of regional dialects. According to the United Nations, over 100 of those dialects are in danger of dying out soon, but the rest will likely follow as the central government's push for the standard language to be uniform across the nation with 96 different Chinese ethnicities. Over time, with enough push from the central government, all of the non-Mandarin groups could be gone in China, and that's starting to show in Toronto as well. We decided to go to Chinatown, where we could see what the change of language looked like on the streets of Spadina Chinatown, where 9.3% of the population speaks Cantonese, in an exact tie with Mandarin, and across the city, 67,000 speak in Cantonese and 50,000 speak in Mandarin. But that doesn't show the full picture. The Cantonese-speaking population has decreased by 11% in 5 years, while the Mandarin-speaking population has increased by 35% over the same time, according to Toronto demographic statistics.
If Cantonese, such a large language, can fall into sharp decline, what about the 6,500 languages before it? Will the local language, Aboriginal languages of Canada fall and the eons of history fall silent? Will efforts by UNESCO, local governments, and the United Nations help to revive local cultures and languages? Only time will tell.
Yeah, let's get churros. Let's get churros. We're getting churros.
3, 2, are we good?
Just look at the sheet the entire time.
There's two eyes behind you. It's really distracting.
In China. And as time comes, people don't know and Wu. And under each group has several regional dialects. Yo,
How many dialects are there hidden? Huh?
Chinese, Mandarin, Hakka, and Wu. And under each group,
Just go, just keep going.
Such a large language group can
I was supposed to walk.
long. This is too much. I can't.
It's 4 lines.
Huh?
4 lines.